Hey geometry friends, this is Mrs. Harms and we are about to learn about the standard form equation of a circle. This is going to be the last lesson of the semester, spring 2020. So enjoy it. It should be short and sweet. We're ending with this one because I feel like out of the other lessons that I had to choose from, since we had to kind of pare it down for this COVID season, I felt like this would best prepare you for things that you may see in Algebra 2 or Honors Algebra 2 with conic sections and different things like that. So, we are going to be taking a look at the standard form equation of a circle. Now, that means since we're looking at equations, we're going to be looking at how we can graph them as well. The standard form equation of a circle looks like this. We've got x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. Alright, that is the standard form equation of a circle. Now, this equation, the things that will always stay the same are the x and the y, and then these squares with that plus sign in between. We will see numbers plugged in for h, for k, and for r. Alright, the center of the circle is always going to be at the point h, k. Alright, so notice how the standard form equation is x minus h. If I were to plug a positive number in place of h, that means even though my number is positive, the equation would read like x minus 5. Alright, so whatever you see in the equation, it's opposite for the center of your circle. If it's x minus 5 squared, then that means it's a positive 5 as our x value for the h. This r, what do you guys think the r stands for? Yeah, radius. That's the radius of your circle. But remember, radius is just the r. In your equation, you're going to see the r squared. So we're going to talk about how to determine the radius if this number here is r squared. So let's take a look at some examples. Alright, let's take a look at some examples. Let's say we've got something like that has a center at 5, -4, and a radius of 5. Alright, there's our first example. This has a center at 5, -4, and a radius of 5. So what we're going to do is take these values and plug them into our standard form equation. Alright, now when we do that, remember our center is hk, so this 5 is our h, this -4 is our k, and then this 5 right here is our radius, the r. So what I'm going to do is I am going to just write out the skeleton of my standard form equation, which means what I'm doing is I'm going to write out my standard form equation, but I'm going to leave a blank at this h, k, and r. Alright, so I'm going to write out x minus blank squared plus y minus blank squared equals blank squared. Alright, and so now what I'm going to do is plug in my h, k, and r. My h was 5, so 5 is going to go right here. My k is a -4, so I'm going to put -4 right there. And my r was 5. Now all I need to do to write my final answer for this equation is to simplify anything that I can. So this x minus 5, we're just going to leave it like it is. There's nothing there that we need to simplify, so this is just going to stay x minus 5 squared. Now in our next set of parentheses, we see y minus -4. What do two negatives make? Yeah, it makes a positive. So this is going to turn into y plus 4 squared. And then it's equal to, what is 5 squared? 25. So there is the standard form equation of a circle that has a center at 5, -4, and a radius of 5. Alright, let's take a look at another example. Let's say we've got a circle with a center at -2, 0, and a radius of 7. Alright, so again, first I'm going to write out the skeleton. So we're going to have x minus blank squared plus y minus blank squared equals blank squared. And so now we're going to be plugging in our h, k, and r. The h is a -2 and our k is a 0. So I'm going to put -2 and 0, and then my r right here is the 7. So now I simplify. In my first parenthesis, I've got two negatives, and two negatives make a positive. So this is going to be x plus 2 squared. In my next one, I have y minus 0. Now, let's say, when we subtract 0 from anything, does it change? No, it's not going to change. So if I say y minus 0, that's really just saying y. Right? 1 minus 0 is 1. 2 minus 0 is 2. So y minus 0 is just a y. So we don't even need parentheses. Alright? And then 7 squared is 49. So there is our standard form equation of a circle with a center at -2, 0 and a radius of 7. Now, what if we were doing it the other way around? We're given the equation and we want to find the center and the radius. And then maybe we even want to graph it. We're going to take a look at how we do that. So let's take a look at some examples if we're working backwards. We're given the equation and we want to know the center and the radius so that we can graph it. So let's say that we have this equation. We've got x plus 2 squared plus y minus 4 squared equals 4. Alright, so what we're going to do here is we're going to figure out what's our center and what's our radius. Now remember how the h and the k are always going to be opposite of what we see in the parentheses, because remember our skeleton equation is supposed to be x minus blank squared plus y minus blank squared equals blank squared. So I want to know, what number would I need to put here to make that a positive 2? Alright, and that would be a negative, right? So my h here is going to be a -2, because two negatives make a positive. My h is going to be -2. Is my k going to change at all? No. So my k is going to be a +4. Now, what number squared is 4? Yeah, if we take the square root of 4, then we're going to get 2. Alright, so that means our radius is equal to 2. And there we go. Our center is at the point -2, 4, and our radius is 2 units. So if we were to graph this, I've got this fun little WSU, this is some old school graph paper, guys. I mean, it's got old school Woo in here with all of his engineering tools. But anyways, so I've got a graph here, and if we were to graph this circle, what I would do is first I want to graph the center. We found our center at -2, +4. So on my x-axis, I'm going to find -2, and then up 4 because my y is a +4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now my radius was not 4, remember? My radius was 2. So I'm going to go up, down, left, and right 2 units from my center. I'm going to go up 2, there's a radius of 2. I'm going to go to the right 2, there's a radius of 2. Down 2, radius of 2. And then left 2. And then I'm going to just do a curve to connect these dots. And we've graphed our circle. Alright? So let's do one other example like that. Let's say we have an equation that is x squared plus y plus 3 squared equals 36. Alright, if we've got a circle equation like this and we want to find the center and the radius, remember our skeleton is going to be opposite of what we see in those parentheses. So here with our x, we just have this x squared. So I'm gonna draw out my skeleton here. What would we need to subtract from x to make no number next to it? Yeah, 0. Alright, so our h is 0. What would we need to put here to make that a +3? Y minus -3 is going to make that a +3. So our k is a -3. And then for our radius, what number squared is 36? Yeah, if we take the square root of 36, then we're going to get 6. There we go. So our center is at 0, -3, and our radius for the circle is 6 units. So when we graph that, here I've got another graph put here. Remember our center was at 0, 3. So 0 on the x-axis is right here, and then -3, 0, -3 was our center. So 0, and I'm going to go down 3, 1, 2, 3. There's our center. And then I'm going to count up, down, left, right, 6 units, 6 units each direction. So up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then use a curve to connect these guys. Whoop, messed up there. There we go. That's a little better. Anyways, so there, now we've got our circle graphed. Now, the one other thing that I want us to take a look at is what if we have graphs of these circles, but we don't have an equation. How can we write an equation for that? Well, remember, start with your skeleton. Start with your skeleton. We've got x minus blank squared plus y minus blank squared equals blank squared. And what we're going to do is fill it in with the information we can see on our graph. Alright, so first we want to know where's the center of our graph. This center is at, here's 0, 0, so this is -2, +1 is that center of our graph, because we went left 2 and up 1. So I'm going to put a -2 right here and a +1 right here. Then I'm going to count my radius. Alright, remember radius is just from the center to a point on your graph. So if I count that, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so I have these numbers plugged in, and then just like before, simplify it to find your standard equation for the circle. So this is going to end up being x plus 2 squared plus y minus 1 squared equals 4 squared is 16. Alright, and then if we took a look at this last example here, we would work this the same way. Alright, I'm going to write out my skeleton. X minus blank squared plus y minus blank squared equals blank squared. So first we want to find our radius, well, we can find our radius first if we wanted to. I'm going to find the center first. So this center, here's 0, 0. We count 1, 2, 3, 4, but we didn't go up any. So this center is at 4, 0. So I'm going to put a 4 right here and a 0 right there. And then my radius, we can either count it this way or count it straight down or to the right or up. If I went down, I'd be counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So our standard form equation here would be x minus 4 squared plus y minus 0 doesn't change the y at all. 0 represents nothing, so this is just y squared equals 5 squared is 25. And there we go. That's the basics of a standard form equation for a circle. See you guys next time. Or actually, I won't see you guys until next school year. So I hope you guys have a great summer. Keep working hard, and you guys are going to do great things. Bye.